For decades, Las Vegas promised endless crowds and full hotels. Then, on the 4th of July, occupancy plunged to just 66%, shattering a streak that had never fallen below 90%. Now, empty rooms are rippling into lost jobs, dying nightlife, and a shattered local economy. What is really driving this sudden collapse, and has the city's famous illusion finally cracked? 4th of July in Las Vegas once meant every hotel room booked, lobbies packed, and a city running at full throttle. In 2025, that image shattered. Hotel occupancy for the holiday weekend crashed to just 66.7%, a number that would have been unthinkable even during slow seasons in years past. For decades, July 4th was a guaranteed sellout. Rooms filled above 90%, casinos humming, and visitors pouring in from every direction. This year, nearly 1 in 3 rooms sat empty across the Strip and beyond. The financial fallout reached far beyond a single weekend. Revenue per available room, known as RevPAR, plummeted nearly 29% compared to the previous year. That means not only were fewer people checking in, but those who did paid less and spent less. From January through July, total visitation to Las Vegas dropped 8% year over year, with each month compounding the pain. The city's entire business model depends on rooms being full. Empty beds mean empty casino floors, darkened showrooms, and restaurants with more staff than guests. Executives point to a sharp pullback from both leisure and international travelers, with many blaming sticker shock from rising prices and a flood of cheaper alternatives in other destinations. Some luxury hotels tried to soften the blow by capping room sales to maintain service, but the steepest drops hit the budget properties that serve the city's core visitors. The numbers are not a blip. They are the first clear signs of a system under stress, with the Strip's lifeblood draining away faster than anyone predicted. 18% of hotel floors along the Strip now sit dark during the week. Entire wings shuttered to save on labor and utilities. Behind the numbers, the human cost cuts deepest. At the Cosmopolitan, more than 200 housekeepers lost their jobs this summer, one of the largest single purges of cleaning staff in the city's history. For one longtime housekeeper, the news came as a text message. Her next shift was canceled, her badge deactivated, and no explanation beyond business needs. She had spent years scrubbing suites for tips that once paid her rent and kept her daughter in school. Now she joins a growing crowd of former co-workers lining up at union halls, hoping for a few hours' work at another property. The cuts do not stop at housekeeping. Bartenders, dealers, and waitstaff are all seeing their hours slashed, their schedules shrinking to a fraction of what they once were. Managers point to falling bookings and closed-off floors as the reason for the downsizing. But fewer workers on the job means slower service, longer waits, and rooms that do not get cleaned between guests. Guests notice the difference. Complaints about dirty hallways and missed amenities fill online reviews. Negative word spreads, and the next wave of would-be tourists think twice before booking. Every empty room triggers a chain reaction. Less work for staff, worse experiences for guests, and even fewer bookings in the months ahead. The Strip's famous sparkle fades, not from lack of neon, but from the absence of people, the ones who used to keep the city running, and the ones who came to escape their everyday lives. A city built on tips and high-rolling visitors now faces a different reality. For thousands of Las Vegas locals, every dip in hotel occupancy means more than empty rooms. It means empty pockets. Limo drivers, once able to count on a steady stream of airport pickups and casino drop-offs, now sit idle for hours between fares. The numbers tell the story. Average earnings for limo and rideshare drivers have fallen by 25 to 40% since 2022. On a Saturday night, a driver who once expected 12 runs might now get 4 or 5, watching as cabs and shuttles line up outside terminals with no passengers in sight. The pain is not limited to drivers. With convention attendance down 11% in June 2025, hotels are not just cutting staff, they are cutting the lifeblood of small businesses that depend on crowds. On Fremont Street, local restaurants and souvenir shops have slashed hours or closed for good, unable to survive on a trickle of foot traffic. Even established businesses in Chinatown and the Arts District report sales down by a third or more, with owners dipping into savings just to keep the lights on. For casino workers, the scramble for shifts is a daily struggle. Dealers, bartenders, and cocktail servers find themselves competing for fewer hours, their take-home pay shrinking as tips dry up. Many now juggle side gigs or borrow from relatives to cover rent. One limo driver, a Vegas resident for 20 years, sums it up. Every time the Strip slows down, we feel it first. This year, it feels like there is no bottom. The ripple effects reach into every corner of the valley, turning a visitor slump into a citywide crisis for working families. Foreclosure notices now arrive in Las Vegas mailboxes by the hundreds every week. Thousands of families are being pushed out of homes they fought to keep, their names added to a growing list that has made Nevada the national leader in mortgage defaults. In recent months, local housing reports describe a surge, thousands of foreclosure filings flooding Clark County, with some neighborhoods seeing multiple homes on the same block posted for auction. The courthouse steps, once a place for quiet legal proceedings, have become the center of bitter confrontations. On a hot September morning in zip code 89110, a local activist watched as out-of-state investors snapped up entire bundles of homes with cash offers. Former owners, some still clutching house keys, pleaded for time or answers. Police were called to calm tempers as properties changed hands in minutes, destined to become rentals for families who just lost their place in the city. The ground beneath Las Vegas residents is shifting. What was once a dream of stability now slips away, one foreclosure at a time. A new kind of owner has taken over Las Vegas neighborhoods, and they do not live anywhere near the city. Hedge funds and institutional investors have spent the last 3 years snapping up homes by the dozen, often closing deals in cash before local buyers even get a chance. For working families, the numbers are now impossible. The income required to qualify for a typical Las Vegas home has soared past $130,000, a figure out of reach for nearly every casino worker, bartender, or housekeeper. Instead of a path to stability, the housing market has become a locked gate. The same companies buying up foreclosed homes are turning them into rentals, raising rents by as much as 22% in some neighborhoods. Lease renewals come with steep hikes or threats of eviction for renovation. Residents who once dreamed of ownership now find themselves paying more each month to rent a house they could never afford to buy. The equity that built middle-class Vegas is siphoned out, one property at a time, by faceless corporations whose only concern is the next quarterly return. Union halls in Las Vegas now echo with frustration. Housekeepers, dealers, and back-office staff file into crowded rooms, clutching paperwork for grievances, hundreds logged in just the past year. The Culinary Workers Union, once a force for job security, is now overwhelmed by complaints about sudden shift cuts, surprise reclassifications, and jobs quietly erased from the schedule. In July, a single WARN notice landed like a bombshell, 150 positions eliminated at one Strip resort, the bare minimum required for public disclosure. Most job losses, though, never reach the headlines. Roles vanish through attrition, or workers are left on call indefinitely, invisible in official unemployment tallies. As the workforce shrinks, another blow lands from across the border. Canadian flights to Las Vegas have been slashed by up to 30%. Tour operators, facing a weak Canadian dollar and soaring resort fees, are steering their clients to Mexico and Florida instead. A Canadian executive says that Vegas used to be their go-to for long stays and big spenders. Now, it is just too expensive, and their customers feel like they are being gouged. The city's decline feeds on itself. Fewer workers means slower service and more empty rooms. Each lost flight erases hundreds of high-spending guests. Together, hidden layoffs and the collapse of a reliable tourist base lock Las Vegas into a downward spiral, a city caught between shrinking opportunity and vanishing demand with no easy way out. Las Vegas now stands as a warning. When an economy relies on endless demand, even a single downturn can echo for years. As home prices soar and jobs vanish, the city's future depends on more than luck. The stakes are real, and this time the house is not guaranteed to win.